Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 186th episode of Tuesdays with Toby. My name is Toby Dickerson, and as I say each week, I am thrilled to be back before you again today with another message. You might be like, Toby, we have not seen you in this setting in weeks on Tuesdays with Toby, and that is accurate. So much so that you may not even know what to do in this moment, but we're supposed to start out by reading our family rules. So look behind me and everyone before we get started today with what I have for you. Ready, read. During Tuesdays with Toby, we will use kind words. Do your best. Always be honest. Forgive and forget. Be happy. Count your blessings. Laugh at yourself. Stay positive and love one another. So y'all, this past weekend was a really long weekend. It really was. I was in South Carolina. And I know for some of you, you're like, wait a minute, Toby, you were home and I didn't know. My apologies about that. You're gonna find out in just a moment why you didn't know. But I was in South Carolina this past weekend at home in my hometown. And unfortunately for attending two funerals. I attended a funeral this past Saturday and then I attended one on yesterday as well. And the two funerals were very different. One was for someone late in life, I think 79 years old, who one might say, oh my gosh, Toby, that seems like a really blessed, long life. And so, wow, you all were able to come together and celebrate her life. But then the other was for a 32-year-old who did not die of natural causes. Unfortunately, someone actually killed him. And both of these funerals were family members, one on my side of the family, one on my husband's side of the family. And sitting through those two services, and not even just sitting through the two services, but just talking to family members and having a chance to interact with them, a couple of things became very, very clear to me. And some of these things you've heard on this channel before, you just know them to be true. But y'all, I'm just not so sure how much we are practically putting it in practice. That when we wake up every day and we take our first breath, and when we go to bed at night, and well, when we close our eyes and go to sleep, I don't think we're thinking about the fact that life is really short. The 79 years, that was short if you're looking at it in a biblical sense. And the 32 years was completely short, particularly in our natural mind, right? And so while both of these, death in and of itself is hard and it's devastating, the two are very, very different. And so going between those two dynamics within just a few days of each other put me in a space. It put me in a headspace of reevaluating for myself, of making sure I literally look down, like I'm flipping through my phone, looking at contacts, looking through like text messages and seeing who I've been in contact with. And not even just so much who I've been in contact with, but what are the nature of those messages? Y'all, can I really encourage you in this moment while I'm grappling with not personal grief necessarily, but just being around a lot of grief, and certainly sitting in those services, you can feel the sadness and you can feel people reflecting, but we really, really need to stand in front of a mirror today. And we need to be able to say and decide whether the way in which we're living out relationships with others, the way in which we're presenting ourselves in spaces, is that really the best we can do? Are we being intentional at every moment? Are we even trying to say, I got that wrong, my bad. Let me get back to you on that. Are we raising our hands first when we know that we've committed to something and then we just didn't show up or didn't back out? Are we raising our hands and at least trying to provide an explanation? Even if the explanation was, I just didn't feel like it. We gotta say something. We are put on this earth for such a short time, and we don't have control over how we leave and when we leave. And so what that tells me is the in-between times, the moment that you're sitting here watching Tuesdays with Toby, listening to me blabber about this, is I want you all to know that, one, you matter to someone, you certainly matter to our Creator. And the people that you keep around you, you need to feel like you matter. It's okay to look at your list and look at your surroundings and your people. And it's okay to do some cleansing if this isn't serving or working for you well. It's also okay for you if you've been bruised by someone and you're continuing to be bruised by them. They may or may not know what you're feeling or what you're pushing up against when you're in their presence. And so it's time to have that conversation. Or if it's like, Toby, you have no idea what my mother is like, or you have no idea what my sister's like, or you have no idea what my grandmother is like. I can't have a conversation. That's the issue. write that letter or talk to a third party person who knows both of you all and let somebody go on your behalf. Essentially, the clear-cut message today is that in the middle of celebrating these two lives this weekend, I found myself reevaluating my own life and how intentional I am or not, and what areas of improvement that I can make. And I was like, Toby, you're gonna go on the channel on Tuesday and you're gonna encourage people to take this seriously, to make sure they are smiling more than they're frowning, to make sure that they say those I love yous, if that's something you're comfortable saying. Everybody doesn't verbally express love, or to give that hug and to squeeze and hold a little bit tighter, or to give that compliment. Shoot, make up something. Toby, I like your striped hoodie. I don't know, that's all I have for you. But seriously, like kindness, peace, niceness, minimal drama, right? Like we're not gonna be doormats. We're not gonna let people walk all over us, right? Sometimes you do have to speak up for yourself, but tone, I always tell you guys about me and just naturally kind of having a tone. And trust me, I was checked. It's just natural. So like, even though I was checked on it, it still came out. Anything we can do to continue to brush off some rough edges and smooth ourselves out. And really, when we walk into spaces, people can actually like exhale instead of tense up. Because yeah, that's some of us. Like when we walk in the room, it's like, oh my gosh, Toby's back again. I'm just using myself as an example. It could happen, I hope not. Yeah, that's the message today. The message is that I was at funerals all weekend, or sitting with families all weekend, and they're sharing memories. And right now, you could literally go step in the next room, because you're in a house right now, and you could go sit down on the couch and have a conversation with someone. Or you could walk across the street, that neighbor who you guys have been battling with for whatever reason, and knock on their door and invite them to coffee. Whatever. I'm making stuff up at this point, but I think you have the point. And the point is today that life is short, and whenever I have a moment to reflect and say, hey, you might not be the only person that needs to smooth some things out, go ahead and tell the people that you love them so much, that you want them to have a beautiful and blessed and prosperous and peaceful life. Go ahead and tell them to make some phone calls, to send some text messages, to give some hugs, to say some I love yous, and to live full on with intention, because none of us know the day nor the hour. I hope you all like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, man, I feel for both of these families, so my heart goes out to you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys back here next week.